Going with the flow based on circumstance, living from circumstance, is an outside-in version of going with the flow. So people talk about wanting to go with the flow or going with the flow, which I'm totally into that, love it. It's such a more enjoyable and peaceful way to live. And so this video is not so much about the flow state or how to get into flow. It's about a more subtle distinction within going with the flow that I've found that has me not only feel that I'm going with the flow, but actually has me feeling more fulfilled and more empowered and more powerful. And that distinction is acting or living from living from circumstances versus acting or living from spirit. And what I mean by that, like, you could just go with the flow as if something happens, like somebody knocks at your door and they says, hey, do you want to go to this place? And just going with the flow would be like, well, this is happening out in the world, so I'm just going to go there and go with them. And then, something happens when you're out with them and all of a sudden you're going in that direction, and or a bill needs to be paid, and so, well, the bill needs to be paid, so I'm just going to go with the flow with that. Or this person's there to help, so I'm just going to help them. Just going with the flow based on all these things that are occurring out in the world and circumstance. That's great because you're going with the flow, but you're not necessarily flowing with things in a way that's also true for you. Because what I notice is I can get caught up going with the flow of the world. And I'm going with the flow, like emails come in, I'm just doing it, somebody calls, I'm doing that, somebody shows up and they're my world and I just serve them, and I'm just going with the flow. And I'm doing stuff and I'm moving and I'm engaged and I'm connected and I'm helping to mix things and things continue. But there's a little bit of a distance between who I feel I'm being, what I'm doing, and who I actually am. And so what's that about? There's also a flow inside you. There's a place inside you, we can call it spirit. And whether you want to think of that as some heavenly thing that descends into your body, or some kind of magical feeling you have inside, or just like a sensation that emerges through like a way of a being through your neurology, whatever, it doesn't matter. But with the word spirit, whatever it represents for you, there's a sense within you when you're living from spirit, when you're living from who you are, from your truth, and when you're acting from that place. And I find that going with the flow of that spirit actually is more fulfilling and more empowering than just going with the flow of circumstance, of things, what's happening. And so it's a level deeper on going with the flow. It's not just as something happening. Somebody knocks on your door and you open it and they're there and they request something from you. To go with the flow would just be to go with that. But when they request that, if your heart doesn't also sing, and if something in you doesn't jump, and if you don't light up, then that's not going with the flow at the deepest level of who you are. That's going with the flow of circumstance. That's being a leaf in the wind, so to speak, without any root and connection to who you really are. And so for me, going with the flow based on circumstance, living from circumstance, is an outside-in version of going with the flow. Whereas going with the flow from spirit, living from spirit, is an inside-out version of going with the flow. And I think the point is a marriage of the two of these things, right? Like seeing opportunities, seeing things happen in the world, looking at the emails that are coming in, like paying attention to the phone calls, seeing the people that need to be served out in the world and the opportunities that are there. But then also looking for that place where, is it also making my heart sing? Is it also filling me with spirit? Is it also exciting me? And then if it is, from the inside out, live from that place, act from that place, create from that place, do from that place. It's kind of like the circumstance is the first stage, but then go a level deeper to really check in. And what does my spirit want? And you don't have to go through circumstance. You can just sit, be quiet, be still, check in. What is your spirit calling you for right now? Because I think that at the end of the day, the circumstances are just there to help us kind of wake up to what our spirit wants, what's true for us. What's exciting for us? What's our passion? What's the feeling right in that moment? And hey, it doesn't have to be huge and massive. It can be subtle sometimes. Even if it's like a 0.001 versus 0.00001, like cool, I'll go with the 0.001 because it's a little bit better, a little bit more spirit in that moment. Living from spirit versus living from circumstance. This is a deeper way, I think, I'm finding to go with the flow. Let me know what you think. Much love.
So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the button, and also share with your friends. Share the love. Tweet it, Facebook it, Google Plus it, LinkedIn it, whatever you do, get it out there. And of course, if you really want to engage in this idea, down below in the comments, the discussion, the dialogue is where the best insights come. Challenge me, ask me questions, I will get back to you. Your ideas, your comments help me to create more videos. Finally, if you're interested in learning at all about what I do, my personal coaching for leaders, artists, musicians, sole proprietors, anybody who's a creative force in the world and creating their own things, check out my website. Also, if you're a coach and you want to learn more about my apprenticeship or learn more about how I create coaching clients, check out my website, link down below. Much love.